What's up, guys? Hope you guys have been out there building shit. So, standing here next to my coach, and went to flush the toilet last night. Realized that it was full. So I'm going to show you guys how I do my Blackwater cleanouts. I'm able to dump my waste for free that way. I take it into town, into free dumps in there, and I use an IBC tote and macerator pump. So I'm gonna skip some of the boring stuff, which is putting pallet forks on. Which my pallet forks, let's see, my pallet forks are right about there, and the IBC tote is right about there that we use for our waste. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff rounded up and set up, and get back to you guys. Alright guys, so I tried to skip over the boring parts. Basically, here's the macerator pump, and it comes out in a weird size, like a 1 1/4 or something, and the only piece, or the only tube that I was able to find that came in that size at Home Depot or locally, easily, was for a washer outlet tube. So I got one of those. It was actually in the clearance section, so it was only like $6 or something. So I cut a chunk of that and adapter it into the hose. And this is just a cheap Harbor Freight hose, and it actually was one that was messed up. It was basically junk anyways. Happened to be brown, so it fit the project. So that's our poo hose. That I've got going into the IBC tote, and I'm gonna say this, probably not everybody has a tractor and pallet forks, so you can pump this straight into your truck, take it, dump it, and this tote is light enough that 1 or 2 people can muscle it around and get it in and out of the truck and stuff, as long as it's empty. Once it's full, yeah, it's a whole new ball game. Now I'm going to show you guys how this system works for me. I've just been using my truck. This is pretty heavy in the truck. It kind of sloshes and stuff and moves it around. I wouldn't recommend it for a small truck, especially if you're going to fill it up very full. I'd recommend just one time. Another thing that I've read about is using like a corrugated drainage pipe, like a French drain pipe, and sticking it in here to keep the slosh from happening so much when you're driving and cornering and braking and accelerating and stuff. But my concern is with the semi-solids and whatnot, it's just going to get completely caked, and so I haven't done that. I'm going to show you guys a picture of a failed project. Okay, we picked this up, and we knew that it was capable of the weight of this, but I didn't take into consideration the slosh factor. So I didn't want to destroy this little trailer, so we ended up not using it. But I'm going to show you guys kind of a cool little setup that I did with, and if you guys had a little bigger trailer, or like I said, you got pallet forks, it'll still work. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of that real quick. And it was kind of an all-in-one deal. Alright guys, so now that you guys got your transportation figured out, you've got your hose figured out to here. You could even use like a 55-gallon drum or something if it was just you and you just wanted to use it one time or whatnot. But anyway, so now that we've got that figured out, now you're gonna need power to it. And I just had this extra speaker wire, and I had this I had a junk truck down the hill that I went and ripped the cigarette lighter plug out of. So I wired directly to a cigarette lighter plug out of a junk truck to the speaker wire, which was just some excess from an old project, up here, and I got it going to my batteries. Got the negative, and then on the positive I just did two connectors to a fuse. That way I felt a little bit better about sending power down a fused wire than an unfused wire, so that if something ever happens, there's a short, maybe it gets stepped on or something happens, we're a little bit more protected. So now let's get this thing running. And today I'm actually going to clean it out extra because I've got some broken valves here. You can see how it's cracked here, and it's been leaking. My gray water has, and I don't want it to be like that coming into the winter. During the summer, I'll be honest, I wasn't too concerned about it. But now that it's winter, I don't want it to freeze or cause me additional problems, so we're going to get that taken care of. And I'm going to replace this size valve at the same time. But let's get this pumping. Alright guys, so you should have some more water going in here to help break up the solids and stuff. As you can see on my setup, I really don't got room for a hose in there, unfortunately, but I haven't had no problems with this. I've been using it for, you know, a couple months now, and it hasn't clogged on me yet. But once you open your valve, then you just flip the switch here, and it's pumping into the tank here. You can hear it a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and keep pumping, and then I've got a couple 5-gallon buckets of clean water that I'm actually going to run down my toilet. So I'm going to go in and do that once this goes empty. So you can see it filling up a little bit, and you can listen to it, and you can also hear the pump, you know, once it starts running low or whatnot. And once you've done it a few times, you'll know about the height that you know, your tank is able to fill on your tote, or maybe you're going to use a 55-gallon drum or something. You know, really, I'm just kind of showing you guys an alternative way to get rid of your waste. You don't have to drive your rig into town every couple weeks, and you know, it's a pretty convenient way to do it, and it saves your back. You don't have one of those little you know, little portable wheeled caddy type deals that you're lifting and carrying and rolling. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody else out too. But like I said, just listen to the pump. You'll hear it. If it starts going dry, go ahead and shut it off. I'll walk around the rig and I'll show you guys. I got some buckets up here ready to take into my toilet. Bucket and a garbage can filled up, and once it goes dry, you know, the pump goes dry, I'm going to take those in. I'm going to flush them down just so that it's a large quantity and it kind of gets rid of the chunks and stuff. And the main reason why I'm doing that, like I said, that's not a every time thing. Usually I just go in and I flush the toilet, you know, as this is going, kind of keep some good clean water, pushing the solids down, and that seems to have worked so far for me. But like I said, I've got to redo these valves, so I want to get it extra clean this time. So I'm going to go ahead and clean out both sides, the black and the gray and whatnot, and get it nice and ready for some maintenance. Alrighty guys, so I heard my pump start whirring a little more freely and kind of gurgling. There was no more noise coming out of this, so I'm going to go ahead and go around. I shut off the pump. I'm going to go ahead and go around and dump that 5-gallon bucket down it, and we'll come out here, we'll run it again, and then we'll dump the bigger garbage can down it, and hopefully by then we're running pretty clean to where when I take off these valves, I'm not getting into too nasty of a situation. Alrighty guys, so I went and dumped that 5-gallon bucket down, came back around, turned it on. Hear it draining into there some more. It's kind of a slow pump. It's not like it's, you know, high volume, high speed or nothing, but it gets the job done, and you know, that's what counts. Hear it chewing through some stuff there. You'll kind of get used to the noises and stuff that it makes. I really wish that instead of doing the 5-gallon bucket thing, I could just put water in right there, but you guys can see how my setup is. There's really no angle that I can get this, that I can get a hose and this be okay. So I make do with it though. I guess I could get like a little angled one and get it to connect, but I just haven't really worried about it, and it's worked out so far. I just worry about, you know, the way that I do it. Maybe, you know, by shutting it off, going in there and dumping it down, maybe I'll get it, you know, some solids lodged. But so far this pump's doing pretty good. Alright guys, so it's not good to let your pump run dry, but I just wanted to let you guys kind of hear it when it does go dry. So Then turn it back on again. You'll see it might have a little bit built up because I shut it off and it's drained down, but then it'll go dry again and you'll see the sound. Hear that there? You can also hear the tank behind me. It's not really pushing nothing else out. It's just kind of. Alright, so I'm going to go around and I'm going to get that garbage can dumped down. Alrighty guys, so got that dumped down. And I've got a different style toilet than a lot of RVs. This is a 96 Country Coach. It's like more luxury, I guess, but to be honest, I don't really like this toilet. I like the ones with 2 foot buttons, one water, one open, because this one you have to have them both at the same time. And the way that it's sloped, it collects right here, and so you're flushing and your stuff's not even going down. So we have to keep a jug here to kind of dump from this end and get the solids to go. It's not very cool, so we're probably going to end up switching that out. So hit like, hit subscribe, follow along. You might see a future video on that. Alrighty guys, so we're back out here. Already dumped that garbage can down. Get the pump back on. You can hear it. And you can hear this going. So hopefully that gets it cleaned out for me so that I can cut these valves out and redo all this. Do whatever I need to do. I still gotta kind of investigate it and figure it out. I haven't gotten too deep into it yet, but that's the next step. And again, hit like, hit subscribe. You'll probably see a video on that too. We've got quite a few updates and changes that we're going to do on this old RV. I ordered a new hot water heater. I'm going to be installing that probably this week. Got to be redo those. I'm thinking I'm going to do them separate, just because you know, gray water's gray water and black water's black water. Why do they into the same thing? Doesn't make a lot of sense, at least not on my rig. So probably going to be changing that. But it sounds like that pump's kind of working through a little more. There we go. You can still hear it flowing. Well, I'm not going to talk your guys' ear off. Hopefully somebody will learn something from this, and hopefully somebody wants to hit like on this video. Leave a comment down below. Maybe some suggestions, maybe some comments, questions, whatever you want. Yeah, till next time. Believe in your own hands. Know that you guys can take on a project like this too. You don't have to pay your sewer bills all the time. You don't have to, live like the next guy. There's alternative lifestyles out here and ways to live that are cheaper and they might work for you too. So I'm just going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I'm learning. So till next time, keep building shit, guys.